Nobody that says when they're a little kid, when I'm a teenager, I want to be a drug abuser. You know, they're saying, I want to be an artist, I want to be in the band, I want to be a football player. They're not saying, I want to spend all night out on the streets and be using.
Well, addiction is a monster that'll keep coming back to haunt you over and over again if you don't make changes in your life. Sometimes staying clean and sober is not enough. We need to change old playgrounds and old playmates before the monster will go away.
And it's a terrible way to lose weight. It's really a very dangerous way to lose weight for the methamphetamine users, because it's an appetite suppressant and you have lots of energy, but it catches up with you. And the methamphetamine users that I've seen in here are not beautiful women.
Well, it's a disruption to the community. It hurts families, it hurts businesses, it hurts the community's reputation, it is an economic drain on resources that could be used in different areas. It impacts the mental health system, and it impacts the school system.
Well, you just can't ignore it. You cannot, because it's still going to continue. There has to be some sort of intervention, because again, it'll spread, and we don't want it to spread. There needs to be that intervention. It needs to start with prevention at the grade school, elementary level.
You have to want to stop using the drug, and if you don't, nothing that anybody says or does is going to stop you from using the drug.
It really hurts to see the destruction that I brought into their lives, the deceiving, all the stealing, everything, going against every moral fiber that my parents believed in. The things that I did just for my own selfish actions. It hurts because I do love my parents, but when I'm on meth, I hate my parents. Because the fact of the matter is that I don't want anybody to care about me when I'm destroying myself.
Drug addiction. It's destroying the youth and moral fabric of communities across the nation. For most people, denial comes easy.
Not in my family.
I'm just a social drinker.
My child's too smart for that.
It's only pot. It's not like I'm doing anything bad.
I can quit anytime I want.
But for the people on the front line, denial may end with more serious consequences. Drug addiction is not somebody else's problem. Addicts wreak havoc on themselves, their families, and the community. In Washington state, it costs taxpayers over $2.5 billion a year just to combat drug addiction. The money goes to law enforcement, court costs, medical costs, social and health services, rehabilitation, and assistance to families and children of abusers. And the economic costs are not the whole picture. The impact of drug addiction is threaded throughout our community. In birth defects and complications, health issues, infectious disease, crime, accidents, violence, and the destruction of families. Families of addicts live in turmoil and fear and often become dependent on social services. Marriages, families, and friendships are devastated. Finances are drained and homes and property are destroyed. Drug addicts frequently acquire diseases of the heart, respiratory system, and liver, and often contract infectious diseases that are passed on to others. Drug addicts are a threat to public safety. They commit crimes to support their habit, assaults to others from the effects of the drug, or attempt to drive while under the influence. In Benton County alone, over 60% of violent deaths last year were attributed to some form of drug addiction. Not in my community? Think again.
From a law enforcement perspective, and that's really the best thing that I can speak to, is it affects everything else that we're doing right now. It affects all of our other crimes. I think the biggest percentage of our crimes right now, whether it be theft, vehicle theft, car break-ins, burglaries, assaults, you name it, is mostly related to methamphetamine right now.
Some of the things that we see from a drug problem standpoint, obviously, are marijuana, which has been around, prevalent for a long, long time. Cocaine, we see a bit of black tar heroin, and we see on occasion some of the more, I don't know if exotic is the right term, but less popular drugs such as LSD, angel dust on a rare occasion. But the main one that we see now is methamphetamine from what we would consider a hard drug standpoint. And it's become a huge problem, not only in the Tri-Cities area, but statewide and nationwide, and is growing on a daily basis.
So we handle felonies, we handle civil cases, domestics, juvenile cases. I would say, keeping in mind that the heaviest component of our caseload is a criminal caseload, but at least 70% of our cases are drug-related.
It affects every individual that's involved in that system because, you know, you've got, I'm thinking of parents of teens that I work with. They are angry on one hand, you know, that the child is choosing to do this to their life. They're scared. They spend many sleepless nights wondering, you know, where is this kid? Are they dead or alive? What's happening to their child when they're out there? Their siblings are watching all of this taking place. And, you know, some of these kids are saying, you know, I'll never do this. This is so awful. And look what they're doing to, you know, look what my big sister or big brother is doing to this family. Other little siblings are saying, hey, this is cool. Look what they're getting away with. I should be running with my friends, too.
If a person continues to abuse drugs, they either go through a long period of rehabilitation, or they wind up in this office, they wind up in the morgue, or they die of a consequence of the drug abuse.
You should ignore it, and we'll continue dealing with it at 70% of our caseload. I know that every time a police agency, either in Richland or Kennewick or whatever, whenever they hire a new officer who goes on the streets, we as judges sit back here and think, oh, okay, here we go. Traffic stop, search incident to arrest, what do they find? Methamphetamine.
The scourge of meth is in our community, neighborhoods, and homes. It's an equal opportunity offender and takes hold of its victims with a vengeance. Methamphetamines can be smoked, inhaled, digested, or injected. Its ingredients are easily obtainable, and when combined, produce a powerful high and an equally powerful low. The addiction to meth is almost instantaneous, and its draw is compounded by its affordability and accessibility. The basic makeup of meth reads like a toxic waste dump: anhydrous ammonia, battery acid, propane, drain cleaner, and pseudoephedrine. Methamphetamine labs have been found throughout our community, in private homes, hotel rooms, vehicles, and even remote areas. They are often small and portable, and their components are easy to obtain. They are also very toxic and produce a great deal of hazardous waste. But the greatest waste is the waste of a user's life if they are unable to break the cycle of addiction. Meth users, especially those who begin to cook their own drugs, will eventually alienate themselves from their families, friends, their jobs, and even their own personal health. Heavy users will experience